Oh, morning. We are on lesson 12.2, problem 3, page 674. Okay, number 1. If I could have your attention up this way, my friends. Number 1, plot points A and B on your coordinate plane. You can do this. Plot points A and B. What's the X? What's the Y in A?
0, 4.
I know that 0, 4. Which one's the X and which one's the Y?
0.
0 is X. 4 is Y. They go in alphabetical order. If you can remember your alphabet, you can get those in order. Memo. Plot the points, please. Here's 0, here's 4, that's A. Here's 2. Come on, Oscar. Here's 10, all the way up at the top.
Oscar.
B. 0, 4, 2, 10. Analyze the points. How would you determine the coordinate of a point that is located halfway between? Halfway between. Midpoint formula. Alright, so let's make it a tiny bit smaller. Okay, let's remind ourselves. What do we do for midpoint formula? Find the average. So, Tony, if I'm looking at the x's and in one point it's 0 and one point it's 2, how do I find the average?
The midpoint one?
Yes. And what do I do with those two numbers?
You add them and then divide it by 2.
Thank you. 0 plus 2 divided by 2. Again, this is the x-coordinate of the midpoint. Add them up and divide by 2, and the two x's are in front. So how would I find the midpoint for the y's, Myra? Try again. 2 plus 10 is in the same ordered pair. I need the y's off of the two different points. 4 plus 10. That's an important distinction. 0 plus 2 is 2 over 2. 2 over 2 reduces. Thank you. 4 plus 10 is 14 over 2. That also reduces. Okay. Memo, how would I write that as an ordered pair? Well, here's 1 and here's 7. How do I put this into that little parentheses? 1 comma 7. That's the coordinates. I figure them out separately, but then I put them together. I think B, we were actually... What? Aha. I was wondering why Mr. Craig is talking about movies.
Craig is watching movies.
I thought we were going to switch and start. Vote on which one.
Okay, here we go. Are you with me? I don't know when you went off. Do you have this?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we already answered B. I think we were probably supposed to just talk about it in A. How would we determine a point a quarter of the way?
Use the A or B and the...
Okay. Yeah, they didn't tell us from what end, but half of a half. Okay.
25.
So I think we're supposed to do that over in D. So which end do you want to find the quarter for?
We're trying for the A.
The one closest to the A. So here's A, 0, 4. Here's what we just found out for a midpoint. It's 1, 7. So now we're going to do halfway between those 2 points. And again, I take the two x's and add them up, divide by 2. I take the two y's, add them up, divide by 2. Midpoint for the x coordinates, 0, 1. Midpoint for the y coordinates, y's are the second in both ordered pairs. Uh, 11, I'll just leave it as a fraction. 11. Do you want it as a decimal? This is going to be 0.5. This is going to be, that goes in there 5 times evenly and 1/2 left over. Okay. Now, oh, this is interesting a little bit. Actually, let's put this as an ordered pair. 0.5 and then 5.5. I think we're going to go back and plot those in a minute. 3/4 of the way.
We just use the M and the B.
We're going to find something between M and B. Now, let's look at these on our graph before we do that, because I think we've gotten a little mathy, and it'd be good to look at the picture. All right? So what we've just done is we had a distance here. I'm going to draw a line through it. A distance between these two. And the very first thing we found was 1, 7, and that's the halfway here. So here's 1, up, and in between 6 and 8 is 7. That was the midpoint. And then they wanted it 1/4 of the way, so we used the coordinates for A and the midpoint and found something in between these two. That was 1/4 of the way, and it was 0.5. 0.5 is in between 0 and 1 halfway, and 5.5. So here's 6, here's 4, there's 5. Go up to 5 and a little bit more. That's perfect. See how a fraction is in between two lines on the grid marks. So here's 1/4, 0.5, 5.5. Okay, so then the last one they're asking us for is 3/4. It's going to be here. And again, they didn't tell us from what end. We're going to assume to start at A and move our way up. But this time, we're going to use these and find the halfway between these two. So we're on number F. Uh-oh, I need my points. So midpoint is 1, 7, and then B is 2, 10. You guys go ahead and find the midpoint between these 2 points. I'll walk around and make sure we're all on the same page. You may end up with a fraction you did the last time.
The further along you get in math, the less and less they become for your answers.
Yeah. Real life involves a lot of fractions.
It gets to the point where you start to become suspicious if you do find a real number.
Okay, so take these and do that. I'm going to set up the first.
I got it.
2 things you can add. Yes. By 2 always for finding an average. Actually, 3 on top, 5 by 2 on the bottom. my little Wi-Fi must be going in and out. What? That sounds good. Good. Skip? Is this skip? Oh, it was already in there. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe we should skip it. Good. Are you on this? Do you understand? Okay. All right. So I'm hearing, I'm looking around and people are getting this. One key mistake here, though, is if people just try and add those two numbers. You're not trying to figure out a relationship between x and y for 1 point. You're comparing 2 points to find that in between. So you got to make sure you're working with the sets of information from the two different ordered pairs. We did end up with fractions, 1.5 and 8.5. Let's look at what that means on our graph. We knew we were trying to find between here and here. Okay, so 1.5 on the graph is halfway between 1 and 2. Move up. And then 8.5, here's 8. And 0.5, oh wait, here's 8, that's 7, right? These are going so that, oh no, that's 7, that's 9. So 8.5 is right here between 8 and 9. I'm having to read my graph to figure out where my point is. So 1.5 and, oh, awesome! That looks perfect. Right? There we go. 8.5. This is 3/4 of the way. All right. Name other fractional divisions of a line segment possible. We're not going to do number 3. Let's skip it. Myra said we should skip it. And there we go. I think that's it for today. Okay. Now, what is happening today? One, we just got going on our project. Let's get those Chromebooks going before the power goes out. 2, you have a brand new homework packet. Let's get going on that so that you don't have weekend homework. 3, you have a question that you just started asking people. Let's ask a lot of people so that you can get going and I can show you how. Should I show you how to make the graph or do you need some data first? Alright, you're going to make a chart. I think you need to get some data and then maybe at the end of class we'll have time to look at how to make that graph. Okay? Okay.